Hello everybody, welcome back to this new video. I hope you all are doing well. So in this video we are going to start the tradition and individual talent by T.S. Eliot. So it is basically most frequently asked topic in your graduation or in your masters or any other further examination, and is very significant writing by the T.S. Eliot. So let us discuss. This is basically essay written by T.S. Eliot. So let us discuss in detail. So tradition and individual talent is written by T.S. Eliot. Let us see the introduction part first. Tradition and the individual talent, which was being published in year 1919, is one of the most influential essays in the modern literary criticism, written by T.S. Eliot. In this essay, Eliot challenges the romantic idea that poetry is direct expression of poets' personal emotions. Instead, he argues that great poetry arises from a deep engagement with tradition and combined with disciplined individual creativity. So in this essay, he is basically discussing about the deep engagement with tradition, as the title suggests, with discipline of individual creativity. So let us see it further. Eliot concept of tradition. So Eliot radically redefines tradition. For him, tradition is not blind imitation. Imitation means copy or respect for the past. It is a historical consciousness and awareness that all literary works, past and present, exist together in a simultaneous order. A poet must develop a historical sense, which means understanding the literature of past, realizing the present work enters into relationship with earlier work, and then accepting that the creation of new poems slightly alters the meaning and value of existing work. Thus, tradition is dynamic, not static. It changes its form. When a new work is added, the whole literary tradition is subtly reorganized. So this was the point number one. So let us discuss the second point, that is the relation between tradition and individual talent. Eliot rejects the idea that originality comes from breaking away from the past. True originality, according to him, emerges when a poet absorbs tradition so fully that it becomes the part of their creative instinct. The poet's individuality is basically revealed not through the personal emotion but through selection of the text, then combination and then reinterpretation of the traditional material. These factors affect. So, therefore, tradition and individuality are not opposite, rather, individuality is achieved through tradition. So, this is the basic idea of this writing, that individuality is achieved through tradition. Theory of impersonality. So, let us discuss this point also. So, one of the Eliot's most important contribution in history in theory of impersonality, he stated that poetry is not turning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion, not the expression of personality, but an escape from personality. This line is very important, that not returning loose of emotion, but an escape from emotion, not expression of personality, but an escape from personality. This does not mean poetry lacks emotion. Instead, emotions are transformed. It is being objectified into objects or controlled by various artists, form, or other genres. The poet must separate the personal self from the poetic world. So the fourth point is the catalyst analogy. Eliot explains the impersonality through scientific analogy. He compares the poet mind to a piece of platinum used in chemical reaction. So platinum is basically a metal, as you know. So he is comparing the poet mind to platinum. It is very valuable metal. सबसे हाईएस्ट जो एक्सपेंसिव मेटल होता है, दैट इज platinum only. The platinum helps bring together oxygen and sulfur dioxide to form sulfuric acid, yet it remains unchanged. So similarly, the poet minds bring together emotion, experiences, and the poet remain emotionally detached from the world. The poet becomes an independent artist product. This shows that poetry is a process, not emotional confession. Role of emotion and experience. Eliot emphasizes that poetry does not depend on poet personal experiences. A poet may express emotion they have never personally felt and may not express those that they have lived through. What matter is artistic organization of emotions, not their autobiographical origin. I hope the fifth point is also clear to you. So let us discuss the sixth point. Eliot critique of romanticism. I have used very fine language so that there will be no problem in understanding, and you may write these points for learning purpose in your copy. Should note down. It will help you to further understand or recall the concepts. Eliot strongly opposes the romantic belief. Wordsworth Shelley that poetry is spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling. So he is saying he is strongly opposing romantic belief. That is, he is opposing Wordsworth and Shelley. They were the romantic writers. That poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling. He argues that excessive subjectivity weakens poetry. Then he also discusses about discipline, and he says discipline and structure strengthen the poetic expression. And then emotion must be shaped from form and tradition. So let us see the importance and influence of the essay. So it is being redefined, it has redefined the meaning of tradition, introduced the impersonality theory, then influenced new criticism. I have discussed about criticism in my previous lectures. Do watch that lecture to understand it clearly. Then shift focus from poet life to text itself, emphasize from form, structure, and objectivity. So let us conclude this. In tradition and individual talent, T.S. Eliot presents a poetry as a balance between the past and present, tradition and originality. A great poet is not one who rejects tradition, but one who understands it deeply and reshapes it with discipline and intelligence. The essay remains a cornerstone of modern critical thought. So, this was the conclusion of tradition and individual talent.